Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Jason Leeser. I'm going to be hosting today's Sunday afternoon drawing session. And welcome to Guy Aitchison's Reinventing the Tattoo community, where tattooers, apprentices, collectors, and the curious are encouraged to join in these live streams, real world events, share and inspire, and ultimately just create better art and tattoos together. We beam out nearly every day, and with your help, have evolved into a quality network of amazing live and on demand tattoo and art shows that have all been receiving rave reviews. You're currently watching the Sunday afternoon drawing group, which is beaming out to you at 1 p.m. every Sunday. Artists, feel free to zoom in by clicking on the link in the events area of the Reinventing the Tattoo community or in the app. You may be beaming in from YouTube or Facebook or listening to the podcast, but you can always get the latest event schedule and notifications at the official Reinventing the Tattoo community. Found at both the app stores, the Reinventing the Tattoo app is free for you to download, and the community is completely free for you to join. It's available in both the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Feel free to download it and check it out. All the Reinventing the Tattoo network shows, art jams, drawing groups, interviews, panels, webinars, seriously, all of it can be enjoyed on demand and found in the library, as well as the YouTube and podcast channels. There are countless tattoo and art rabbit holes that you can dive into. Perfect for the front room of your studio or to entertain some of your tattoo clients. I've used it before, and some of my clients absolutely love it. We're actually beaming out 4 channels, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that's at reinventing247.com. That's reinventing247.com. Right now, we've got a whole bunch of other shows, as well as the Spanish Art Jam channel. You can also enter to win a goodie bag, which has some Cheyenne cartridges, some raw pigments, and a couple of other really cool samples. We also have some staple weekly shows that we like to go through. Sundays at 1 p.m., obviously. We also have the 9 p.m. Tattoo Weekly show that we do. That's always great. Once again, you can tune into that this evening at 9 p.m. Eastern time, of course. Mondays at 9 a.m., we also have another drawing group that's going to be going on. Don't be surprised if you see me in that one as well. Mondays at 9 p.m. in the evening, once again, all East Coast times, we have a special subscribers only get together and art class with Guy himself. Every week, we try to focus on a different aspect of art to try to really hone and sharpen some of our artistic skills. Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern time, we have a drawing group with Ricardo Sertivant, very good friend of mine, incredible artist, where he's going to be taking you through some of his fine art techniques so that you can really help go through, build, and hone your artistic skills. Wednesdays at 12 noon, we have the Tattoo Now show, which is great, and I highly recommend you check that out. Thursdays at 12 noon, we have the Tattoo Collecting podcast, where tattoo collectors from all over the country get together and start talking about some of their experiences and, what led to them getting into their collection. This past Thursday, we actually had Russ Abbott jump on, and that was incredible. Thursdays at 7 p.m., we have a fundamentals class with Kyer, and it's open to all skill levels, including apprentices. If you're looking to get back to your fundamentals and really sharpen up your fundamental drawing skills, that's where you're going to want to go on Thursday nights. She's covered everything from how to shade a sphere, which we all need to revisit every now and then, to how to construct and deconstruct different types of filigree and spirals. She's really covering all the bases. Definitely worth a look. We also have some real world events coming up. For example, in October 3rd through 6th, 2021, we have the Paradise BYOB, kind of like a soft launch back into the Paradise Gathering. It's going to be a bring your own brush or booze or berries or bud, bring your own brain. It's going to be a very self-driven kind of getaway for artists of all different types. I'm going to be there along with several other people. We're going to have some live webcasting shows. We're going to be broadcasting out a whole bunch of different seminars for people of all levels and apprentices as well. It's definitely something you're going to want to take a look at if you're really trying to really take your game to another level. November 12th through 14th, we have the Brussels Tattoo Convention, and that is gearing up to be absolutely incredible. Nick Baxter and Ivana have definitely confirmed that they will be there, so we'll be doing some live get-togethers and live webcasts with them as well. We also have Gabe. He's going to be doing some tattoo business seminars while he's there. We're going to have some live art jams and some subscriber exclusive meetups, as well as a couple of general meetups for other people that may want to attend. February 5th through 6th, Reinventing the Tattoo live from the Red Tree and True Tubes home base in Columbus, Ohio, with a couple of art jams, some seminars. There's going to be a lot more information on that coming up on the way. May 20th through 22nd in 2022, we have Hell City, Columbus. That, I believe, is actually already sold out, and that is going to be one epic tattoo convention. Definitely worth looking into. The Rock River Tattoo Art Expo coming up in July 8th through 10th, 2022. That's next year. We're going to have a reinventing track. We're going to have a lot of reinventing the tattoo artists are going to be there. It's at a really nice venue, and it's easy to get to from anywhere around the world. So definitely want to check out the Rock River Tattoo Art Expo. The Rubber City Tattoo Invitational in Akron, Ohio with Tony Urbanek is coming up July 29th through the 31st of 2022. And if anyone's ever been to any of Tony's shows, they'll know that they are always a great time. And next year, it's official. The dates for the Paradise Tattoo Gathering are October 20th through the 23rd. That is going to be absolutely monumental. Definitely want to mark your calendars down for that one. Would like to take a minute to go through and say a very special thank you to our pro development team and some of our sponsors. Give me 1 second. There we go. So first and foremost, I would like to thank World Tattoo Events. Always, if you're trying to keep up to date with what's going on in the world around you, as far as live in-person tattoo conventions, any live seminars or art retreats or get-togethers, World Tattoo Events is where you're going to want to go for that information. I've been looking to them for the latest information on what's going on and what shows are in what location and when for many, many years. They're constantly doing a live update of everything as well. So definitely give them a look. Inkjet Stencils. If you're trying to take your stencil game to a whole new level, take a look at Inkjet Stencils. Guarantee you will not be disappointed. It's a little bit of an investment, but hey, it's still way cheaper than buying a new 3M Thermofax. Raw Pigments. Raw Pigments is like tattoo pigment 2.0, right? It is the next evolution in tattoo pigments. If you have not tried them, you need to pick a few up. Try a couple at first. Prove me wrong. It's great. They lay in super easy. They are super vibrant. They blend extremely well. Their gray wash system has completely changed my world. It is absolutely incredible. Everything that they put out is just phenomenal. Delyze Pro, also known as Dermalyze Pro. Well, Dermalyze Pro to the rest of the world, Delyze Pro to us here in the US. It is designed to heal a tattoo. If you're still using plastic wrap, I think it's time to upgrade. Special thank you to Tattoo Now, one of the leaders in tattoo technology and the leading edge in SEO and professional development for tattooers of all levels, and they're actually now accepting new clients. So if you're really trying to build your tattoo business, doesn't matter if it's your own studio, doesn't matter if it's your own personal brand. If you are trying to build your tattoo business, that is where you want to go to really get on the forefront of what's coming up, what's happening, and to really get a leading edge in that kind of promotion. And as always, a very special thank you to Guy Aitchison, the founder and inspiration of reinventing the tattoo. And he's got encyclopedia, his biomech encyclopedia, all kinds of DVDs, machines, paintings. He's got all kinds of stuff, prints. They're all available at guyaitchison.com. As well, I would like to thank tattooeducation.com, because without tattooeducation.com, which was kind of like the precursor, I think, to reinventing the tattoo, I don't know that any of us would really be here. So thank you very much to Guy. Also want to give a special thank you out to Gabe Ripley, Lauren, and Guy. You guys are incredible. Thank you so much for everything. And it's really an honor to be able to be here to host all of this stuff going on. So now that the intro is done, how's it going, everyone? Faith, you've joined us. We've got Bruno here. We've got Joe with us. How's it going, Joe?
What's going on?
Good afternoon, guys.
What you working on there, Bruno?
I'm working on the on this last Monday night exercise.
Oh, very nice, man.
Yeah, I'm working on I'm gonna end up doing this in color.
Okay.
But just kind of making sure I got the values in the right place. I'm about to create a layer to take away some of the sharpness on the sky and kind of like push it more towards the background. And so I'm gonna like airbrush a tone around this color here and then lower the opacity to just kind of push it in the back.
Very nice. Very nice. I really like what you've done with that. I like how you have just subtle amounts of detail in those clouds. Very, very nice.
Thanks, man. What are you working on today?
I was working on a potential collaborative painting that I have coming up with a good friend of mine named Jake. We started throwing around the idea of really getting back into a collaborative painting kind of idea. He's been really stagnant for quite a while as far as, just inspiration and just wanting to start working back in with more analog mediums. So I was like, well, Michael's right around the corner is having a sale on canvases and stuff like that. Let's pick up a couple of them. We'll start off small and then we'll start to build from there. What do you think? And he absolutely was all about that idea. So I went out, picked up a couple of canvases, and it's been an absolute dream. We just started working on a sketch, and hopefully by the end of today, I'll have a little bit more, done with the concept of it.
Nice. Yeah, I took a little peek there earlier. It was looking pretty good.
Yeah, I'll give you guys a little hint of what I've been working on. So we've decided to go a little bit crazy with it and a little bit wacky, really kind of get ourselves out there. We decided to do some kind of like a mutant sparrow. So we're going to give him a couple of different like wings, and he's going to have a couple of different legs in there. I'm probably going to go back through and redraw some of the eyes. I think I'm going to make them all Cyclops birds, and just like really kind of push it and have some fun with it.
Nice.
So just playing around with some ideas and some concepts. And we were trying to brainstorm the other day about what we want to do for a background. The reason why we're planning all of this out on an iPad as opposed to just going straight into the canvas is because the surface that we're going to be working on is pretty fragile. So I don't know if any of you have ever worked with like heavy duty watercolor, like really good high grade watercolor paper.
Yep.
But you can't work on that the same way you would work with a canvas, right? You can't just like paint over top of an area. I mean, you can, but by the nature of liquid acrylics and watercolors, they're translucent. You can see straight through them. That means you kind of have to put a little bit more thought into working with them.
Right.
And you really kind of need to go into it with a little bit more of a plan.
Right.
Not that we're not going to be getting really creative with things, but it's easier to go into it with a plan to kind of work out all the kinks ahead of time. And then all you have to do is sit down and execute that plan. Colors can be decided on the spot. That's not really that big of a deal, but getting the underlying architecture of the painting, of the design together is what's really going to help the process of working on that kind of a surface. We were also thinking about using an absorbent medium on top of canvas and trying that out as well. Worst case scenario, if we want to, we can start just painting on top to really layer the texture, and we can switch from, like a liquid acrylic or a watercolor into a heavy body acrylic and almost go with like a mixed medium kind of thing. So it's something that we were playing around with. But once again, if we go into it with kind of like a roadmap, I think it's going to suit us the best for the process of working with that specific medium.
Right. Yeah, every stroke really counts because of the material. Get the most out of every stroke, right? To
Right.
avoid overworking the paper. Yeah, man, that sounds awesome, dude. Can't wait to see. I've never worked on that kind of paper before.
Oh, it's great. I love it. Let's take a look at Faith. What are you working on today?
I'm not. I don't have anything prepared. I got the notice that it was starting, and I was like, I gotta get in there.
Oh, absolutely. You're
Yeah.
always more than welcome.
Yeah, no, I ordered some of that recovery derm. Have you ever used that?
Yes.
It was like out of
love
stock.
recovery.
Yeah, I just got the 2 rolls of it. It ran out, and I was trying a bunch of other ones, and they were like turning everyone's skin red, like the budget ones off Amazon and stuff. So I've been waiting for that. So I'm stoked that came.
So there's a
Jason,
reason
can you,
behind that.
Jason, can you take off the speaker? It's flipping around. If you could just go to gallery mode until we're looking at art, that'd be awesome.
Cool. I'm not sure if anyone's still spotlighted or not. I did have a couple of spotlights going, but cool. So we should be in gallery mode now, if I'm correct. Yay, we are. I figured it out. But yeah, so the reason behind that is a lot of those budget recovery derms actually have a latex based adhesive, which is actually pretty harsh. So anyone that has any kind of a sensitivity or allergy to latex or adhesives in general, they are going to break out. They're going to get super red, super irritated. It's going to be an absolute nightmare. Other brands such as Dermalize and Recovery do not use latex-based adhesive, which is awesome.
That's cool. Yeah, I just tried it because I couldn't find recovery derm anywhere. It was sold out everywhere. So I just grabbed it. Figured that'd be better than nothing, but it wasn't.
Yeah, I had to go back to Saniderm. But that recovery with the little crosses, right? That's definitely the best I've used so far. And it was very reasonably priced on Amazon, but yeah, it's out of stock. I was like, damn, I should have bought more than one. Yep.
Yeah, I bought like 3 of them.
Yeah, good move. I had to go back to Saniderm for now because I don't really
they went in stock.
Experiment with that.
Like 3 days ago or a couple days ago. They got like all new packaging and stuff, so I think they're going back out. I love that stuff for color. I feel like I'm in a commercial, but I wasn't trying. Just excited. But I got like 5 big appointments, like all 5. I work 5 days a week, and I have 2 days off. So this is my first time having like 5 like full sessions, one after another. So I'm just like trying to getting that whatever. I don't know what I'm talking about. Like that song, you know what I mean? Like that. Like my boss, he's got like the routine down. You know what I mean? Like he comes in and he knows exactly what to do. He's got his quick little. He does a lot of realism, or see him drawing before the clients, and I'm just trying to get into that routine where I can get everything. And we're about to move in like 1 month exactly. We're moving. I'm doing permanent makeup training in like 2 weeks. I'm going to do a 3-day seminar. I don't know if anybody's ever done any of that, but
You know, I was actually
same
we actually
mindset,
had
same
someone
everything.
stop in. We had someone stop in the
Okay.
other day that worked with permanent makeup, and I can't wrap my mind around how that works. Like it,
I don't know. I can report back.
yeah,
3
let
weeks.
me know, because that's like a whole nother level of like precision, and
I
it's
feel like I need.
insane what
You know, I did
people
a
do.
I did an interview with
the magnifier. I feel like I'm gonna need that.
so I was just saying I did an interview with Veronica not too long ago, who's a permanent makeup teacher out in Los Angeles. And yeah, she was talking about going after people's like eyebrows right away, and like taking a machine and going after their face like first thing. And it was pretty intense. But you know, it's a good hour interview with her, and she's going to be teaching over at the Brussels show a permanent makeup seminar. So
Nice.
definitely worth checking out. I mean, obviously it's not
I'll
a
find that.
you know a
Yeah,
3-day
yeah.
workshop. It's pretty sick.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I know somebody that I guess had the same teacher. He does 3-day workshops all over Florida. So I saw her Instagram and it was bumping. So I'm like, I'm excited, but like I'm still a little nervous because it's like a micro tattoo. I feel like I need those glasses with the little squares that like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the
And
little jeweler's
magnifier.
glasses that
Yeah,
have
I
like
feel like
3
I'm gonna need one
times
of those.
magnification.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I feel like I
Ralph
want one of those.
Nonviler uses them. I've seen Ralph Nonviler will use them in his tattoo. He uses them in his paintings for sure. But
That's
he'll
cool.
break
Yeah,
out
I
with it
got these.
sometimes.
These are weirdos. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna need them though. Like these have magnifying down there, but I feel like for the, because they're 8mm, I buy peak needles and I see the PMU ones with the stabilizer or whatever. So
So let's is Phantom, are you actually working on artwork, or let's check out some artwork if people are working on some.
absolutely.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, sweet. Oh, cool.
There you go, man. Fuck
Badass.
yeah.
Badass.
Yeah, I'm just like right now. This is I started this morning, so I'm just literally just doing the highlights and stuff right now. But I've been stuck on this style for weeks now, and I can't stop creating stuff like this, which is really cool. There's another one.
Oh, sick.
I love that. Love the contrast, you know.
And then another one here.
Oh, that's interesting. I love what you did with that acanthus leaf.
Yeah, right. I was trying
Just
to
kind of
keep
framing it off.
like a negative, kind of like just to give it all like flow a little bit more.
Right, right.
And obviously, I took the same design and I just started playing with it. That's how I came up with the flower one. But yeah,
Yeah, I really like the way that looks like it's almost like a broken mask.
yeah,
Yeah, real cool.
Nice stuff.
yeah. And then did one of my cat.
Yeah,
Mhm.
there you go.
Just a play around. I've been trying to like figure this style out, but I'm getting closer. I think this is the closest I've gotten so far. Is
It's
like,
fucking great work.
thank you.
Yeah, man. They're really balanced. And I love how strong the contrast is between
Yeah,
just
so like,
different styles.
because I don't tattoo color. I only tattoo black and gray. And I do illustrative or hyperrealism. So for me, I've been studying, I guess, neotrad for for the past couple of weeks, and I did I love the fact of Neotri where you don't really do so much shadowing to it because this is really only 2-color tone. So it's just the orange and yellow on the outside of it. So that brings all your attention to like the actual detail of the face because it's so muted, like, you know.
Yeah, man. So a lot of the time, less is more.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I love that, man.
Where are you located for people that I guess you've been beaming in a couple times now, but
Yeah, I'm in Southampton, Pennsylvania. I'm in the same area as Jason.
cool.
Me and Jason worked together for like a couple of years.
Nice. And then you refused to take showers, so you had to go somewhere else. It's a
You leave
common
me out of
story.
this, Gabe. I'm on that
Usually
like monthly plan.
I try to keep it cleaner. My bad. I didn't mean to.
Hey, man, it's totally fine. Switch back to gallery view. I think I'm going to work on my assignment for tonight as well a little bit more. I usually try to start working on this a little bit more Sunday evenings, but I figure I'll join in. I'll join you, Bruno.
Nice. Join me, brother.
I'm psyched to see the anatomy. So the next 4 weeks are already laid out. It's awesome.
Yeah, so you know me in anatomy, so I'm probably going to go on vacation for like a month. Now, anatomy is always, it's actually something that I'm really looking forward to. It's something I've always struggled with. And it's something that, you know I know I need to work on a bit more. So I'm actually really, really looking forward to this upcoming section in Reinventing the Tattoo. I really am.
Feel the same, man.
I feel like for years I studied anatomy. Like it's like the coolest thing about doing like still life art.
You know, it's easy for me because I don't create any art, but it'll be awesome to see everybody give it a go for a month straight, get better at it. I'm not talking about anybody in this room. Just saying in general, it's great to see people get better with things that you know, the natural eye just kind of, you know. Somebody recently was saying, "Oh, that's you know, style, or that's just exaggerated," and it was like, nah, it just doesn't look right, you know. And it's good. So it's good when people, yeah, I'm excited for the anatomy and to see the results. Everyone's getting so fucking good after, you know, it's been almost over a year now of you know, these online practice you know, group get-togethers. It's crazy.
Yeah, you know, it's funny that you mentioned that. I look at some of the stuff that I was doing, you know, 6-7 months ago, or even before that, and like the stuff that I'm doing now. And it's absolutely incredible how much just getting together with other artists and going through critiques and, you know, working with other people, seeing new ways of doing things. It's amazing how much that can just really be that one game-changing factor that, you know, can really make all the difference in the world.
Yeah, you know, the and the repetition, right? So it's it really is like the watching people go to the art dojo, and you know, all of a sudden everyone's been doing extra sit-ups for fucking a year and a half. It's like, oh shit, you know, wow. Yeah, everyone, it looks like everyone's been practicing fucking, you know, 3 times a week. I mean, everyone's always been working hard, obviously, and drawing left and right. But to your point, watching the ideas pass around, and yeah, it's just pretty awesome.
You guys talking about doing setups?
Oh Lord, here we go.
Yeah,
Here comes the gym rat.
It was like the first day he had like the perfect headphones and the audio was pristine. I commented on it. I was like, Ricardo, who are you? You have amazing audio.
Well, I'm driving right now, so yeah.
Ricardinho.
Bruno, ¿qué pasa, man? How you doing?
Doing good, man. Todo bien. All good, man.
Bueno.
Enjoying the drawing session.
Yeah. Looks like everybody's doing some fun stuff. What's everybody working on?
Working on that Monday night exercise right now with the cactus and the desert and the sunset in the background.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
Looks
It's
good.
a fun one. It's a fun one.
Yeah,
And where are
I'm trying to
you
figure out-
headed, man?
Actually, coming back from up north Illinois, I went into Galena, and I'm heading back home now. So it's about 3 hours away from where I live.
How far is Rockford from where you are?
About the same distance, about 3 hours. So
Okay.
not too bad though. Get pretty used to that drive, you know.
Yeah. Nah, 3 hours is not horrifying.
No,
Nice
no.
little alone time.
Yeah, it's good to get out, see some different terrain and stuff.
So now here's a question for you. How long would it take you to drive from all the way at the top of Illinois all the way down?
Oh, I think it's about 5.5 hours, maybe 6 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just wondering like where you were located in relationship to, you know, where everything else is in Illinois.
Oh yeah. Where I'm
'Cause,
at,
like,
it's
it-
almost. Go ahead.
When we went on that pilgrimage down to hyperspace, you know, that was a good 2.5, 3 hours. So that tells me that you're situated more in like the middle of Illinois.
Oh, dude, it's almost right dead center in Illinois. It's like right in the middle of the heartland, baby.
Normal America. Smack dab
Got
average.
it.
The
You got
most
it.
normal spot of
My
Illinois.
question is this. How did you end up in normal Illinois? Because you're like the most abnormal person I think I've met.
Abby, somebody. Abby normal.
Abby normal.
Abby normal. Yeah. You mean to tell me you got an abnormal brain? Yeah. Yeah, man, that's a good question. When I was living with my family, we moved around a lot. And my mother, when she was still here, got a job supervising over Illinois through a company, it was like a telephone company called Nortel. And, you know, she got a job supervising over Illinois, and we found Normal and Clinton area, like around the area around Normal, pretty convenient for her to be able to travel throughout the state. And we just stuck around, man. And my life took over. I had some kids and stuff and started a business. Just stuck around, and it's been home for a long time.
That's what's
The
up,
winters-
man.
The winters can be terrible out here, but man, in the springtime, it's pretty nice. Spring and fall, it's like gorgeous, dude. Gorgeous. Believe it or not.
Now, Ricardo,
Yeah.
have you ever experienced a winter in the New England area?
No.
Then you don't know what a bad winter is.
Well, yeah, that's true. But I'll tell you one thing I have experienced is negative 30 degrees in Illinois for sure.
Oof.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could not handle that at all.
No.
Is that Atomic?
Oh yeah,
What's up, man?
on my drive, man. Shooting through some neighborhoods.
Hey.
What's up, guy? How's it going, man?
You know it. How y'all doing?
You're driving too, huh?
All right.
Yeah, almost to work.
Right on.
Yeah, how's work been for you?
A little slow these past 2 weeks, but after we discussed how to grab some biomech, I ended up having 2 big consultations on it, and they went really well. So I'm super excited.
Awesome. Awesome. Very happy to hear that.
For sure, me too. Sorry if the engine gets a little loud. I like to play.
too much contrast. I have to say that it's one of those things that really gets to me. It's like I'll be working on an area and then I get too caught up in the detail. And then I feel like I have to go back through and smooth things out and blend things out and lighten things up a little bit more. Does anyone else experience that? Do you guys ever find yourself getting too trapped in detail in like one area and not really being able to
usually
like
when I'm
move
trying
on?
to find the light source.
Yeah.
Like if I want it to come out from the middle of something instead of being like a above light source, I have a lot of trouble with it. The detail will throw me.
So one way that I like to tackle that kind of a situation is, even if it's a stencil already on someone, I'll take a couple of Sharpie markers and literally draw a couple of lines. I'll create my origin light source point and then just draw some lines with Sharpie and like, a pink or yellow or an orange Sharpie, like radiating out from that origin light source point.
Mm.
And then I'll look at where those lines kind of overlap certain areas. Maybe I want them to be tucked back behind certain areas, but then I'll look at that in relationship to, okay, if this is coming out from the eye socket of a skull, and I know that this is going to be the strongest area of light, how is that going to affect the different shapes around it?
That's great advice, man. I like that.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That'll be very helpful. I feel like
because sometimes if you're rushing to get something drawn up and just put together and thrown together so that you can stencil it and start tattooing it, sometimes you don't really have the opportunity to go through and really define that light source when you're sketching and drawing.
Right.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to kind of do it on the fly, and that's just something that I found kind of helps me. And it's
That's a good
something
one.
that I've seen other artists do as well. So
I like to go in with a Sharpie as well and like smudge it. Like you lay it on the shadowed side and kind of smudge it out a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
to help shape that form. But I think I'm gonna start using the directional lines that you just mentioned for sure, dude. That's a good call, Jason.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so believe it or not, the way that I kind of came up with that and the reason why I started doing that, it all kind of echoes back to when we were working on light source, right, in Guy's class.
Yeah.
And I don't really know how well you guys can see this much, but so our assignment was to do like a lighthouse and a seashell, right? Right. So when I was working on that, before I really started to get my rays of light in, that's exactly what I started to do. I just drew a whole bunch of lines radiating out from a central light source point. Once I knew that, I could then go through and figure out, okay, if this beam is cutting across from this light source, if it's coming in front of this part's going to be lighter. If it's going behind this part, then this part's going to be lighter. So it kind of gave me a step-by-step of, okay, well, if this is coming over here and I know my light source is coming down from this angle, this part of the railing over here is going to be lighter than this part. And that light's going to kind of slowly wrap around slightly. So just working with directional lines really helped change everything. And I got all of that from this light source assignment.
Nice. Man.
Nice. Yeah, real nice.
Yeah, for sure.
So I started using that, and it's really been helpful. Where I struggle the most right now is with ambient light and having no single definitive light source, right? Because if everything's just ambiently lit, then there's not really going to be a very strong source of light. So then how do you create those dynamic shapes, right? Because in order for that contrast to be there and be super strong, you're going to need some type of a definitive light source. So, how can I create that kind of a a stronger contrasting area when I don't have that really strong defined single point source.
I think a strong foreground would help out with that quite a bit.
Like a really dark, strong foreground.
Yeah. Something hovering over the space where there's ambient light, the ambient light source is coming from.
Well, I mean, that would make sense as far as like priority goes and maximizing your priority.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll start trying that out.
give it a go.
I'll give it the old try, the old college try.
Give it a go, man.
Jason's that 3-minute bird I was telling you.
Oh, sick, dude. That's awesome, dude. I love that texture in there.
Well, that was just all off the Procreate brushes, like me just manipulating and tracing and layering and playing.
Can we see that again, Atomic?
Yeah, let me spotlight you.
But the Tattoo Smart brush sets.
Oh, killer.
Oh, sick, dude. Why is it not? Just had
It did for a
spotlight on.
second.
All right. Well, we're going back to gallery view. There we go.
Melissa just beamed into. I don't think we've heard from her yet
Hi,
today.
Melissa.
Hey guys.
What's up?
Hey, Melissa.
Not a whole lot. I had a reschedule today and I booked someone into Tuesday, so I actually had time to stop in and say hi to everybody.
That's awesome. And is that part of the that cover-up piece that you're working on?
No, this is part of that mushroom sleeve.
Ah, let's take a look at that.
That's rad.
Wow.
That's sick.
What a cool piece you got going on right now. Wow, amazing.
It has been a ton of fun working with it. I'm excited to do the hand. That's coming up here.
That's going to be really, really awesome. And I love your line weight contrast in that as well.
Cute.
Yeah, really, really helps separate out some of those shapes and some of those objects.
What machine are you using these days, Melissa, for your line work? I saw the session that you did on the outline of her arm. Looked really nice.
Thank you. I'm using the wand packer right now. I want to get the liner, but I haven't quite gotten there yet because I had a iPad purchase jump in the way.
Got it. Nice.
Eventually I'll get it.
So this was your client's request, huh?
Yeah, she has been waiting. So her first tattoo was a mushroom that we did on her in more of a realism style, probably about 5 years ago. And she wanted to do the sleeve then, but she wanted to like have more time to figure out what she wanted to do with it. And so she came to me, we did a piece on her thigh that was like a mix between gremlins and her cat, which was really interesting. It's like a characterization. And then she came to me here probably a couple of months ago and said, I'm ready for my sleeve. So she had probably a good 50 photos of mushrooms, all of different types and whatnot. And
Perfect.
she's like, you do your thing, put it together. Like, I love what you're doing. So just do your thing.
Perfect. It's the ideal scenario right there.
Right?
Yep. That's awesome. What a fun piece.
Super excited for the hand too.
Rocking.
Yeah, I love it when people do that. It's like finally someone gets it.
Mhm. Everybody wins,
Live a
really.
little. I
Although I do kind of find that it puts like a little bit more pressure on me when people do that. It's like, ah, boy. All right, now I really got to come up with something awesome. You know, and I mean, they gave you a direction, and that's what I always ask people for is like, cool, give me a direction. What direction do you want me to take it in? Right?
Exactly.
Give me a subject matter or a style or a theme or a feeling or something. Give me some type of direction or inspiration to go off of, and I'll hit the ground running. But if I don't have that kind of like a direction, I can take it in any number of different ways, and you may very well not like the direction I take it in, right? Like you might be thinking I might be coming up with something that's more of like a hyper realism thing, and next thing you know, I pull out a super ultra simplified traditional version of, you know, say a clipper ship, right? And you might be thinking it might look like this really sick pirate ship, and then it's like, not exactly what I had in mind. And it's like, well, this is what I came up with, and I just spent X amount of hours drawing it. You know what you said, do what I do, so this is what I did. And if you don't like it, well, maybe you should have given me a little bit of better direction.
Yeah, that's a tough situation when, you know, you've given it your all and spent a lot of time, and you know, and because there wasn't enough input from the start, you end up, you know, in that situation where the client very respectfully but probably just kind of, you know, lets you know that that's not really what they were, you know, hoping for. And yeah, like, just I always do everything possible to avoid that from happening.
Right.
And I definitely you know, push it on the asking for input and references, you know, as far as not necessarily images, but references as far as, you know, what their vision is and what different elements they really want to see, and maybe even some elements that could be secondary elements that I will consider, just to have to consider. You know, it's better to have more than less, right?
Right.
And I found that that's definitely helped me avoid you know, that situation from happening, you know, just kind of squeezing as much information from the client as possible.
Hey, Bruno, not to interrupt, but I absolutely love those clouds and how the difference between the dry cracks of the ground and the sky. How do you achieve that like super dry looking ground?
Thank you, man. The dry looking ground, you said?
Yeah.
You know, I was definitely using this reference here that guy gave us, to, you know, just kind of go back and you know, see what the characteristics of this was. And so my plan was to like, you know, make sure that I get in all that detail in that whole first row right here, you know, like really looking at the characteristics of the desert ground, and kind
So
of
it's
like,
just basing things off the texture of the reference.
yeah, pretty much. And also kind of, you know, looking at the reference, trying to figure out what the pattern is, you know, like,
Right.
as far as, you know, like the shapes that they start to take. And as I went further back, I started to, you know, make the shape smaller. I
Like
think
you're
even like
looking
a
through that
perspective line would
atmosphere.
probably be
Right.
a good tool here for this, just to kind of, you know, get that from large to small kind of effect. And definitely as soon as I cross this middle part, I stopped using definition almost completely, and I lowered and I kept my values real neutral.
Right.
And then I just added some shade, mainly on the front part,
Right.
but like very light, because I wanted to keep that whole plane on the
Nice
lighter
and
side.
even. Yeah. Yeah, it looks really sick. I like that a lot.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Then I added a little bit of some like little cracks, like real
Yeah,
subtle.
that's just so dope.
And it's
Like
just
you
a
can really
couple,
see little layers.
yeah, just a couple little, you know, little cracks, mainly on the front part where you can see more of that detail, and that already goes a long way. Like, you know, it kind of tells the viewer's mind, right, that what's going on.
Right.
And I'm glad you dig it, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure. The
really.
cloud work too. The cloud work's exquisite.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I was sharing with Jason that um, one of the things that I did to achieve that, like to push it back, was that after I did the clouds texture, and like uh, just kind of going with the reference, it ended up being a little too bold. You know,
Yeah.
it's kind of imitating these. And since I really want to
Almost
push
look like a water in the sky kind of thing.
like a what?
Almost look like a water in the sky kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And because of the nice detail that the reference has that I was trying to imitate, it ended up coming forward too much. And so I created to push it back. I created this. See, that's how it was.
Right, right.
Yep.
And it's just a little bit too rich in texture and value. So I created that like layer and lowered the opacity, and I pushed it back a little bit.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah, sometimes that's all it takes is just to lower that opacity just a little bit,
Yep.
Yeah.
you know, so that it's just not quite, it doesn't have quite the contrast. And especially if you're working on basically a canvas that's already toned down, it really helps allow you to really focus on pushing and pulling those lights and darks.
I think the only time I've ever played with the opacity on anything on Procreate's when I'm like doing a cover up and I've got a picture of what they've got, and I'll do it just so I can kind of see the old image underneath and make sure I'm, getting things covered appropriately, darks to lights or whatever color it may be.
Yeah, playing with the opacity on a layer is definitely something that is going to be helpful regardless of what you're doing, because it will allow you to see, okay, well, if I make this a little bit less or give this a little bit less contrast, how is that going to impact the piece overall? Right?
Okay. Yeah. I
You
have
know,
trouble seeing things in black and gray. I like to do a lot of color work, like black and gray. I get the form fittingness. I like to do a lot of sculpting and stuff. So as far as the 3D-ness of the shapes, that's no struggle. With the lighting, I really have trouble with, like we were talking about with that spider web.
Yep. Yeah, spider webs can be really, really tricky sometimes, especially if you're really trying to get a lot of depth and value in them.
Right.
And one way that I've always found to really help create that depth and value in something like a spider web is to actually go through and play with like very light gray wash over the whole area.
Right.
And once you do that, you can then go through and use almost, sometimes I'll use like an opaque gray, like a medium value opaque gray to create little shadowy strands. And
Right.
then I'll go back through with, a very, very light tone, whether it's, and I try to stay away from using a whole lot of like pure white, just because I not that I don't like it, but I always try to keep that on reserve, right?
You like to
That's like
almost
something that
use
I'll
it
use
as a
for only the
whitewash.
brightest of spots.
Mhm.
Okay. I got you.
You know, because if you put pure white everywhere, it loses its
Flattens it back
glory.
out.
It's like not using any at all.
Right. So, you know, because, well, it goes back to the whole concept of if everything is bright, then nothing is bright. Right.
Exactly.
And if everything is dark, then nothing is dark. Right. Because there's no contrast there. But
Right.
so by separating out those really super, super dark areas, and then maybe toning that skin with like a light gray wash behind it, and then adding, you know, even if you use an opaque gray at like a 30% opaque gray, let's say,
Right.
that'll still give you a lighter value, right? Than, you know, even a darker gray wash or a darker value. So it's still going to be closer to white, but it's not going to be pure white, right? Then I'll use pure white in very select areas, and that's really going to help set things off. For example, if you have a dewdrop, right, coming off of like a strand of spider web,
Right. Like the
and
one
that
I
has a
sent you
highlight
the
on
other
it, I'll use pure white in the highlight on the dewdrop, and then I'll use like a lighter value opaque gray for some of the other lighter areas. That way there's only a couple of super, super bright white highlights, and everything else falls into that like mid-range.
So that would have worked well in the armpit one as far as doing like the singular light source. Like if I had
Correct.
used a different percentage on the other side.
Correct. Even if
Okay.
you take like a small cap of white, add like a half a drop of black, or sometimes even like a medium gray wash,
Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
right? Thin it out, make it a little bit darker,
Right.
and then use that as opposed to like a pure white. It's going to really help change the dynamic value range.
That makes good sense. I really appreciate it. Really
no problem.
appreciate it.
Faith, that's coming along great.
Thanks. Me and my boss are talking this week about like me like letting go more and not using like 20 references for everything. Because I tend to get hyper concentrated, and you're talking about like detail and stuff where you get lost in it. Like sometimes I get lost in like the references and then I can't think outside the box. So I still with all my references for this painting.
Absolutely.
I'm just going for it, and I've never used this stuff before. My mom got it for me, the acrylic ink, so I'm just trying that out. Trying to leave that comfort zone. But he's a lot better at kind of just, he's a lot more relaxed than I am when he's tattooing, but he's been doing it longer, so it's just been good. I don't know how to do the face though. That's the part that's I can't see it in my head.
Really like your use of vague shapes in the background and really broad areas, and how things get a lot more specific and detailed as it comes closer into the foreground.
Trying to make this like the brightest part with the yellow and like around it with the white, so that it kind of goes.
Right.
I
Really bringing
like
your eye there.
I like this part behind like the orange and the green there, where it kind of looks like it's, I don't know what, like back there. I don't know how it did that, but I like it. My favorite part.
Yeah, that's coming along really nicely. Cool. Well, I got
I feel like
another little bit I can hang out. We're just about at that 2 o'clock mark, but yeah, anyone else working on anything fun?
Restarting the eyeball little project. We ended up seeing the other day that it kind of looked like the other eye was a sperm swimming out of a keyhole.
That's awesome.
So we got to change it up a little bit.
Yeah, yep.
Anyone else's palette look like this? Or is this just me? You see it?
Yeah, it looks about
all the
right.
time. If I paint, my palette ends up like a mess.
I see people on YouTube and it's like these perfect little circles and you just see that. I thought maybe I was doing it wrong.
Yeah, it's not really a good way to stay organized. You know, we were trying to deal with a bunch of different values and hues.
Forget that. Enjoy the chaos.
No, yeah,
Right?
Likewise.
I like to have a mess and then there's like just crazy colors to kind of pick from. It's like to get less precise, like using a bigger brush or a bigger mag to get softer shapes and force yourself to impressionist them. I do that a lot.
Now, does that work
Yeah,
well
isn't
when you're doing the oil painting too?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an old master's trick. When in doubt, break out a big brush.
Knock it down.
Block in your shapes, block in your values.
I haven't played with a lot of oil. I've done some acrylic. I usually end up doing a lot of spray paint, you know.
This is
Well, ask yourself this: how patient of a person are you?
I can be very patient.
Okay, then give oils a shot, man. If you work in glazes and
Yeah.
you work layer by layer,
I used to do a lot of furniture repair with my dad as a kid. So like emulating wood and like false wood texture was just something I've been doing since I was like 12.
gotcha.
But I've never really played with oils. We usually had to use like lacquers, stuff that would melt back into the proper finishes. And the oil was always what we were told was the nightmare. It was going to create issues for us. Silicones and oils.
Yeah, I used to love working with oils. They're messy and they take a lot of time.
Yeah.
And ever since I came across like a glazing medium for acrylics, and I've learned how to really work with glazes in liquid acrylic. I've just been sticking to that lately. I just find that it fits my workflow a little bit better.
Yeah.
You know, because I'll paint with liquid acrylic like I do with oil, and I'll layer and layer and layer and layer and layer until it's the right tone, because
Right.
it's so thin and it's so translucent that you
That
really
you can
can
really
build
build
layer
it.
upon layer.
Right. Have
You
you
know,
ever taken like one of the little glass pens and just used some expired ink to play?
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I
In fact, I know a
absolutely
guy
love
that he'll take some expired tattoo pigment and he'll do full paintings with it.
I didn't think about painting with like directly painting with it. Hmm.
That's how I learned how to mix my colors. Yeah,
Really?
I make color wheels and practice mixing gradients and things with my favorite colors to tattoo on.
So with the actual pigment instead of just a paint that looks as similar as you can get?
Yeah, like that's definitely similar, but it just works different. I'm using like especially
More
ink,
like
you
an
can
ink.
do a couple drops and just see what you get, kind of a thing. But I
Well,
actually
and
did
I was
And
going to
here, I'll
say
show
part of the
you.
reason why that works, and that works way better, especially if you're trying to really apply it for tattoo purposes, is because the different pigments, paints, and then tattoo pigments use different types of ground pigment. They use different powders as their
Okay.
base. those powders, when they interact with each other, can actually create completely different color tones.
Similar to the way the different metals produce different firework colors.
Bingo. That's exactly it. Right.
Okay.
And so if you're trying to get a specific effect in your tattoos, do a small painting, right, with those specific colors to see how they interact. You might have a yellow tattoo pigment that might look spot on to like a cadmium yellow or a cadmium red in oils or acrylics. But because of their base powder, when you mix them with, say, you know, like a burnt orange,
titanium white
or exactly, it's going to give you a completely different look.
Okay.
And that's all based off of their base underlying like
Chemical
powder pigment that they
composition.
work with. So
very intriguing.
Something I've picked up along the road less traveled.
Back when I was doing dynamic, I did a full palette test of the 23 or 25 bottles just to kind of see. So that's like every color that dynamic makes mixed with every color that dynamic makes. And I'm actually getting ready to do one. I do it when I get home from work for like 15 minutes. I'll just do a couple of them because I want to do the raw ink set too. But I remember when I was doing this one, there's this whole world of like lavenders and pinks and stuff that I didn't even know existed, and I still wouldn't know existed if I hadn't done that. And it's that kind of thing. It's so slow that I have to break it up. But it's pretty. Like if you use the same ink colors over and over and over again, if you just make every single color, so then that's they all hit each other like down the center. So that's the pure on the middle. And then it's every color mixed with every color. And then it's every color that I mix down here with white added up there. And you get that.
Very cool. I do a similar thing with my Prisma markers, but I haven't thought about doing it with my inks. That's genius.
Yeah, I see them for watercolor sets a lot.
Yeah.
If you Google like palette test, it'll give you a diagram how to do it.
I always like to take all of my pigment bottles and I'll turn them on their side so I have the bottom shot of it, get it in a picture, and then I'll build the Procreate brush sets based on like what ink set it is.
Right. Yeah, that's really awesome, Faith. Now imagine doing something like that with like Eternals colors, right? And they've got like 230 some odd different colors.
Right. And having a whole wall dedicated to it.
you would have to, man, because what's 230 times 230? Hold on, I got to break out my calculator for that one. Math was never my strong suit.
Yeah, it's a lot. I don't know.
52,900 different color swatches.
Yeah.
That's a lot of different colors.
Yeah.
If we each do a section of it, like
we could each take like blues, greens, browns, oranges, yellows.
Right, like all of us get like a 6x6 and do a set, like a small portion of it.
Yeah, like we each do like a couple feet of it, and then they all come together.
Yeah.
that would be an absolute chore. We would have to figure out a way to do that, because I mean, technically speaking, we would all need to have all 230 colors. Even if we only did that one test area with like one color, we would still have to see how that one singular color intermixes with all 230 other ones.
What we would need to do is all throw in on the set and just pass it back and forth down the line as we go.
Yeah, well, I mean, that would make sense. Yeah.
We could each do like a square though, like I'll do the pinks and the purples together. Somebody else can do like the orange and the blues together, something like that.
Right.
But originally when I wrote that book and everything, one of the things I wanted to do if the website took off was I wanted to try and take the 23 pigments full intensity around the wheel and see if I could make every other eternal color with those 23. That was like a side project I was thinking about doing, like to try to find like almost like a limited palette that would make all the colors, and save money and time, which is kind of what mine is. But
You know, if we got together and did it right, it would be just as marketable as Russ Abbott's little color wheel.
Right?
I know. Right? But I thought that would be cool to just kind of like
Miles, take exit 4.
exactly.
Ricardo, I think we just heard your directions.
Yeah, sorry about that, man. I tried to hit mute as quick as I could. But I
I
was
wonder if
interested
there's
in
any
this,
way we could program Gabe's voice into a GPS navigation.
Oh, that would be great.
for your headphones.
Cool.
Long
And
as
like
it included the
in 3
occasional,
seconds, make a
curse
right.
words.
My mom had an
Ricardo.
Australian series for a while.
It's already over. Yeah, that color swatch is great. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was I don't know, it was surprisingly informative. Like when I was doing it, like when the colors, the inks, when they first like you're wet and you mix them together, they're like the most beautiful pigments you've ever seen, which is how they go into the skin. But then like once they dry on paper, you kind of see like the magic go away. So it wasn't, and I don't know if I ever showed you, but when I did my digital palette, like for the dynamic set and for the other sets, I actually pounded a grid of dynamic into my leg and photo referenced it. That's how I got my swatches, because like I couldn't get it to work on paper, so I had to use my leg.
So now
Right.
one question I did have for you is, are you toning your paper before you're doing those swatches to make it, you know, more say accurate as far as like when you're going through and working with someone's skin tone? Like, are you digitizing that palette and then adding that, basically taking a photo of your client's skin tone, layering that behind that white on the palette to see how those colors would interact? Or are you going based off of like the white paper?
Actually, I went off my leg. Is what I
Okay.
meant. Actually, because I tried doing it on paper like that. I can show you real quick. I think it's right there. That's how I made my digital palette. I just packed it in real fast. That's why it's kind of, but that's the 23 dynamic colors right there. And then I got like an odd light, and I calibrated my monitor, and I was able to get, and once I did that for like the CMKY one, like when I print them out, they look exactly like the ink and ink cups, and exactly like they do on the clients. So it worked. It was just a little bit of a rogue, because I couldn't get it to work any other way. So I took the cartridge or the needle. It was cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Sometimes when I get
I'm gonna jump off here.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be heading out in a few minutes as well.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Why don't we go ahead and we'll start doing some sign-offs.
Always a pleasure.
Ricardo, you already said you wanted to leave, so.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Ricardo Sturdivant. I work at Candor Tattoo. You can find
Boo.
on Instagram at Candor Tattoo.
Okay.
Doing a lot of traveling, getting ready to head up the Dallas Villain Arts Convention. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a pretty good time. If you're down around that area, I can say hello to be here with you, man, and Bruno and everybody else, dude. All you guys, thank you for having me, and hello and goodbye.
Sounds good. Thank you for jumping in, and yeah, I'll be seeing you in September. Cool. Bruno, you want to go next?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, thanks for hosting once again, Jason. Thank you to Reinventing the Tattoo for making this happen, for everything that they provide. Yeah, my name is Bruno Salvatierra. If you want to reach me, you can reach me on the app, on the RIT app, or on Instagram at Prismas_art. I'm going to be hosting a Spanish Paint Jam on August 17th at 9 p.m. It's on a Tuesday. If you're watching this and you have a little bit of a hard time understanding English and you're more of a Spanish speaker, this would be a great opportunity to check out some awesome artists painting and talking about art. It's Hablemos de Arte with Bruno Salvatierra, with myself. So I'll see you there. And yeah, thank you once again, guys, for being here. It was a great time as always. And yeah, hope you all have a great day.
You do the same, Bruno. Thank you for jumping in, man. Always appreciate it, and it's always good to hear from you.
I like to watch Bruno's show for the opposite reason. It helps me pick up a little more Spanish.
Right?
Yeah, man. I believe they're gonna be they're gonna have subtitles on once they on the replays on YouTube in English. So
very nice.
I'm pretty good at picking up a little words, phrases, and stuff here and there. But
nice,
the more
man.
I hear it naturally, it's better for me.
That's awesome, man. That's another good reason to join.
Tomic, why don't you go ahead and give us a quick little sign off?
My name's actually Horn, but Atomic's fine. You can find me on Instagram at Atomic_Injections47. I work out of Ink Paradise in Marietta, Georgia. We're about 5 minutes outside of Atlanta. I don't really like to talk about myself, so come find out.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Thank you for jumping in as always, and
absolutely.
hopefully
I
we'll see you again next week.
Out of y'all, for sure.
Hey, man, we do what we can.
Y'all are lifesavers. You just don't know it yet.
Melissa, you want to go ahead and give us a quick little sign off?
Hey guys, Melissa Sink here. I'm located out at Think Inc. in Staten, Oregon. You can find me on Instagram at Mac_Missa, MAC_MISSA. We do all sorts of different styles, but I'm kind of jumping into a few more limited towards October. But thanks for having me. It's been good to jump in. I've been trying to get in Sundays for quite a while, but it's usually a work day. So thanks all.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm usually still asleep.
I was going to say, it's got to be quite early for you. So
yeah.
About 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
When it starts.
Great. Well, thank you very much. And we'll move on to Faith.
Hey, you can find me at wincolor.com, WYNN color.com, and that has my shop, my Instagram, first module in my art education program, and hopefully soon my book will be available for download. I just haven't done it yet. I got behind. So,
Yay. Nice. Like that little viewfinder you made there.
yeah, I just painted that because I didn't have anything else. I didn't have the OBS going. I'm remodeling my house.
Very nice.
Thank
you very much for joining in today. It's always enlightening, and it's always a pleasure to have you on.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. And I guess I'm going to go last. So thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in today. My name is Jason Leeser. You can find me on Instagram at Philly Inc. In fact, I've got, let's see. I thought I had like a lower third in here. Whatever. Forgot to add it in. Oh, well.
We should
yeah.
link everybody's Instagrams into like the tags at the bottom or whatever, because I'm terrible at remembering when everybody says their stuff.
You know,
Might be
it's something
helpful.
I'm looking into, is seeing
Yeah.
if we can get like individual people that that jump in, if we can throw like a quick lower third over their video and everything like that. But it's getting a bit more complicated than that when you really look at it. But it
Yeah.
is something I've been looking into. But I host the Sunday afternoon drawing sessions here at Reinventing the Tattoo. Big thank you to Gabe Ripley, Lauren, Guy, everyone else involved with Reinventing the Tattoo, Ricardo, Bruno, Melissa, Faith, Atomic. You guys are awesome. You guys are what helped make this happen. If you guys are joining
This is
from
awesome. You
YouTube,
gotta
or if
count
you guys are
yourself.
joining from Facebook, remember to like and subscribe. Make sure to get the notifications. We do this every Sunday afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Depending on where you are in the world, it might be a bit of a different time, but you know, whatever. There's also another drawing group going on tomorrow morning. I will probably be jumping into. If you can't make this one, feel free to jump into that one. That one will be at 9 a.m. Eastern time. So once again, depending on where you are in the world, that time may vary, but feel free to join us tomorrow morning as well. And now is the point in time in the show where everyone should be making a goofy face or holding up a beverage or giving a peace sign or whatever. Just not the half peace sign thing. We're trying to keep this, G-rated. So let me switch back to gallery view. Everyone wave, make a goofy face, and I'll see you guys all pretty soon. Cheers.